The Raiders, let's have a moment of silence.
Oh, no.
And this one is one that I think we're probably a part of. And I asked, you know, if I should open my mouth on the show about something that's happening in special teams. And I was told, yeah, don't worry, it's legal. Yeah, don't worry about it. Do it. Sure. Fucking let the world know. I talked a couple weeks ago about the Las Vegas Raiders utilizing a technique that I had not seen before. And immediately upon seeing it, I got pissed off that I had not thought of it as a person that did a lot of kicking off in the NFL. They were putting the ball in the back of the tee. Normally a tee, you see the ball sits down inside of it like this, has to be an inch off the ground from the bottom of it where it's hanging. The Raiders were able to put that thing right on the back of the tee, have somebody come hold it, so that thing sit another half, 3/4 inch higher. From 1 inch to 1.5 or 1.75 inches, that's a vastly different change. So they were able to hit the ball higher, shorter, get their coverage teams down there. They were weaponizing their kickoff team with this technique that has been available, seemingly, since the beginning of tees being made. How the fuck did we not think of this when we're dicking around with a football and a tee for hours on end at a football facility? That's how proud and impressed I was with this technique that they were doing, because nobody had thought of it before. Vinatieri mentioned it on the Manning cast the other night. He said the Raiders are putting, or Justin Tucker does a little skip step for those long field goals. I never thought about that. I wish I would have thought. There's like little things that are happening. It's like, how did we not fucking think of these things? The Raiders did. The Raiders are super geniuses. The Raiders were breaking the rules.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. It was working, too. Damn.
I don't know if it was breaking the rules or there was no rule made for it. A memo was sent out saying, not allowed to fucking, hey, listen.
Knock it off.
They're not fucking doing this anymore. Okay? Basically, Pro Football Talk reported the NFL will no longer allow Raiders to use a holder on kickoffs to place football on top of tee. That is what that special teams coordinator, though, thrives off of.
Hell yeah.
The NFL having to be like, God damn it. You're not allowed to use the tee in a fashion that nobody in the history of football has used the tee. Now, if there's wind, I assume they'll be allowed to use it. It'll have to be a ref's decision. And I assume we're not the only one that brought this to the attention of people. I assume the other special teams coordinators, while this was happening during the game, were just looking, going, these that's not right to the, hey, Walt, the fuck, dude? Well, because we will send out a memo telling people we're no longer allowed to do it. So, moment of silence for this ingenuity that came from Las Vegas, that'll die in Las Vegas, but had an incredibly insightful run and did some good stuff for the game. They were cheating a little bit, weren't they?
Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah, they were.
The middle gentleman over there. Saying, why don't we put the ball on top of the tee?
That's a good idea.
Everybody puts it in the tee.
Great fucking idea.
We'll put it on top of the tee. Then it's like we're using a driver with one of those high tees. Naturally going to hit the ball higher than further with that. Then our coverage team, holy shit, they're down there quicker.
Like shit on stink.
We'll start working. We won't be perfect every time. They might get a good return every once in a while, but by the end of the year when these games matter, they'll be at the 15 every fucking time. They told me it was legal. Fuck, they said it. Read the rule book. I did 10 times. Read the rule book. It's not in there. Does it say anywhere in there?
Nope.
I assume that special teams coordinator went to Josh McDaniels. McDaniels like, oh, fuck. Okay. Then he went to GM probably. He's like, read the rule. You read the rule book? Is it in there?
Check it out.
No, we're in there.
No.
Let's do it. We're going to do it. Josh McDaniels like, fuck it, do it, I guess. And then the memo comes, and McDaniels goes right to old middle gentleman's desk and goes, turns out you were cheating. So,
Knew it.
can't do it. They changed the rule. Congrats on that innovation over there in Vegas.
It's like a tip of the cap, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, this is too good. We have to take it out.
So
We kicked an onside kick against Louisville where I hit the ball with the outside of my foot. It never hit the ground. It was not a high hop. It was a surprise onside kick. I run up, kick the ball outside a foot. We have a guy run. We have a guy clean a guy out. Guy catches it. We get the ball. We end up going to like 6 overtimes that game afterwards. They changed the rule literally the next day. Felt real cool. Real cool. Like, okay, not allowed to spear somebody if the ball doesn't hit the ground. They have to have even if they don't wait for a fair catch, they have to have an attempt to catch the ball or something. They had to add it to the book. Felt cool, like to be a part of a rule. This particular special teams coordinator for the Raiders, I think he has like 10 to 15 of those.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking like at every angle we are attempting to, I don't see it in there. Do you see it in there? Nope. Boom. let's go ahead and hit this
Smart.
thing. So they had a good run with it. That
Yeah.
thing is dead. And rest in peace to that. Let's
Pat.
take a, go ahead, buddy.
Are they outlawing this strictly because, one, they don't want kickoffs to be returned. They want them through the end zone. And two, they don't want offenses to have to drive the ball 90 yards instead of 75.
I would assume those two things that got added into it. And I would assume the special teams coordinators that were reporting this to the NFL were also adding in, let alone that the offenses aren't going to be able to score as many points and the concussions that are going to come from this, because now all of a sudden it's a punt return with guys running further. This is just bad for the game as a whole. Kick them off the tour, Doug. So they did. They banned it.
Bullshit. I don't like it though.
Me neither.
At least go into the off season and then change it. Don't change it.
At mid-season.
Week 15. Like I don't like it.
Do you think Tom McMahon has that up on as like a fucking trophy case?
Oh, yeah. Boom.
Beat him.
Hanging it up this morning.
Beat him.
Check
Go,
it out.
go alongside all the other ones he's had. Beat him.
Did it again.
Well, yeah, we'll go onside kick every single time, so they have to line up in hands team every single time. Well, now that's the official rule. You know, they changed the rule to what we were doing basically because people had to have their hands team in every time because we're going to potentially hit a surprise against them literally at any moment. And Tom was able to say, well, the amount of injuries that we had against us because everybody was in their hands team and everybody's like 10 to 15 yards apart is much lower than everybody else. They're like, all right, Tom, we'll give you that rule, Tom.
Boom.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
10 of them
You
done.
think Walt had your video
Oh, yeah.
in the memo sent out?
As soon as I heard Walt's involved with anything that we potentially need to ask for, I know we're out. I have publicly said that guy fucking sucks as a ref.
Many times.
And that's because in my experience as a player, that guy sucked as a ref.
Yeah.
He was reffing for the NFL for 55 years, though. So I think it is fair to say maybe in his last 25 years, he was not good.
Sure.
In his first 30 years, though, the guy saw the game.
Oh,
Top
my
tier.
God.
Guy
Kidding
saw
me?
the game. But when I was in the NFL, towards the end of Walt's run, I thought he was abysmal as a referee. His communication was terrible. I thought the way he went through his processing was terrible. It seemed like his crew never got shit right. And then he was put in charge of all the refs. And I'm like, okay, that's great.
Makes sense.
But let's remember, we can't judge him just by his down years. Let's remember Walt had a lot of great years in
Yeah.
the past.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Walt, how about Walt going, I watched this guy use an ashtray to describe, because the original wasn't this candle, it was a smaller ashtray. I watched him use this ashtray, and he really put a visual representation on what's happening. You guys are cheating.
Can't do that.
Can't do it.
Because normally the ball was sitting down in the ashes, you see?
Yeah.
He picked it up and put it on the side where you're resting said smoke stick on the side of it, sugar stick. Sugar stick on the side of it. That's amazing. What if we were part of another rule change? Maybe I should.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
fucking
throw that up there.
pop that thing up there.